Hello, everybody, and welcome. I just jumped off a coaching call with my clients inside of the Ditch Decade Diets Academy, and I went on and just checked our group chat, and I just saw one of my clients made a comment, and she's like, I just want to say how encouraged I feel after that group coaching call. And I just love this community so much. And it just made my heart so happy. It made me just feel so grateful for the community that I've created for my clients. And I want to take this opportunity to talk about community, to talk about support, and talk about the missing piece that I see a lot of people missing when it comes to recovering from binge eating. So the thing is, with binge eating, right, the way that I felt when I was struggling with my relationship with food was I felt broken. I truly felt like there was something wrong with me. I felt like I can't even explain the things that I am doing to anybody else because they're going to look at me like I have 10 eyeballs. They're going to think I'm batshit crazy. Nobody else eats until they're physically sick. Nobody else thinks about food 24/7. Nobody else eats in secret. Nobody else hides food. Why am I like this? What is wrong with me? And I honestly thought, I must be broken. Because when I went out with my girlfriends, none of my friends ever mentioned anything like this. None of my family members ever had conversations like this. None of my friends, had conversations like this. And I would see people at social events, just feeling so normal around food and just eating when they're hungry and stopping when they're full, just not thinking about food and just having this easy, effortless, balanced relationship with food. And I'm like, that must be nice because I think about food all the time. And I didn't know why I felt so out of control with food. I didn't know why I kept eating past fullness even though I knew I was full. I didn't know why I would come home and feel this need to eat in secret. I didn't know why. And I didn't even know, at the beginning, I didn't even know that I was struggling with binge eating. I was very well aware that the things that I was doing with food was not normal. I'm nobody else does this. But I didn't really know that I was binge eating. And I remember in grade school opening up a textbook and there was a section on eating disorders. I can't remember what class this was. And I remember my heart starting to race and I started to feel so anxious when I was reading this paragraph in this book about eating disorders because I'm I think that's me. I literally think this is me. I don't have a good relationship with food. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. So when you are struggling with binge eating and emotional eating, because it's not talked about, because you don't have these conversations with friends or family members, it could feel like you're broken. It could feel like you are the only person who's experiencing these things with food, right? You feel like you just feel alone. And at the time, I didn't even know that I was going through binge eating, let alone I didn't know who I could get support from. I remember telling my mom so many times, before going to bed, I'm my stomach is hurting me. I don't know what happened, but I just couldn't stop eating. And my mom never struggled with her relationship with food, and she obviously didn't know how to say, how to respond or how to support me because she's never struggled with binge eating before. So the famous line of oh, everybody eats a little bit too much. It's fine, just drink some water, make yourself a tea, you're gonna be fine, right? And obviously, I don't blame her. I said, if you haven't gone through binge eating, it's really hard to support somebody. So, she just said just make yourself a tea and just you're gonna be fine. But I'm no, like you don't get it. And it's like, I didn't want to share too much because I literally didn't want her to be worried, because like, if I actually told her what actually went on when no one was around, like, I think she might have a heart attack. I literally thought my mom was probably going to pass out if I actually told her like what I was actually doing. So I was kind of like downplaying it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I just ate a little bit too much. So of course, like, her response is going to be like, you're fine, right? But little did she know, like, I was not okay. Like, binging and like out of body experience, like I would eat until I was literally so physically full, you guys. Like, I was in so much pain. So obviously my mom never struggled with it. It was hard to get some support from her. And I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, husband now, boyfriend back then. And again, I didn't want to seem like a crazy girlfriend. So I'm like, yeah, I just sometimes eat a lot and like my stomach hurts. And again, he's never struggled with binge eating. So again, the same famous line of like, it's okay, like, tomorrow's a new day, like, you know, just try to listen to your body. And I'm like, I can't freaking listen to my body. You want me to listen to my body? My body just says keep on eating. Like, how do I turn the signal off that says like you're done, like stop? I'm like, that signal, like, mine's broken. I'm literally like, something's broken in my body, because some people can just stop when they're full and I literally can't stop when I'm full. Like, I'm like, I need that button. I need to press it and it needs to work, but my button is broken. So anyways, so people just didn't understand me. And then I sat down with my mom one time because I had one of the worst binges of my life. I was a personal trainer at the time. I had one of the worst binges of my life, and I had to go back to the gym and I had to train this person, and I was so physically sick and I was home alone. My mom walked in and I was in tears. Like, I just broke down and I was like, I need help. And I was like, I am not okay. Like, I need some support. So remember, I sat down with my mom and we were like trying to find me support, right? Because again, I don't know, like, is this even normal? Do other people struggle with this? Like, I don't know. And so my mom obviously didn't know who to get support from. So we're like Googling like how to get support for like eating problems, and like therapist popped up on the Google. And so we found a therapist who supposedly was specialized in eating disorders. And I remember going to this therapist appointment. I was so nervous, you guys. Like, I remember sitting in this chair at this therapist office, and I just felt like I didn't belong. Like, nothing wrong with going to therapy. I'm not saying that, but I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt like I honestly didn't belong. I was like, this feels so weird. I'm like, I don't know, like, it just feels really weird. And I was so nervous, and I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to understand me, but like, let me just give this a shot. So I go in, and I was even scared to tell my therapist, like, even saying the words binge eating, like, I was so scared to like say I binge eat, because I honestly felt like she probably wouldn't understand me and she's definitely going to be judging me. Like, this is what I was thinking in my mind. So I remember just saying again, like, I'm eating a lot and like I feel physically sick, and she kept on just asking like how my relationships were and like how my childhood was. And I get that, like, there's a time and a place for that, but I'm like, but like, can you just tell me like what to do this week so that I can like feel a little bit more in control with food? And there was like zero step-by-step. There was zero strategy, like no tools. It was literally just like talking. It was just talking about my relationships, talking about my childhood. And I was reiterating to her, I feel so happy in my relationships. Like, my boyfriend is incredible. He loves the living shit out of me. My family is incredible. Like, I didn't have a crazy childhood. I'm like, what do I do? Like, can you just tell me what to do to stop my binge eating? Because like, I am so fed up, and I'm also so ready to stop my binge eating. And I felt like I was explaining to her what binge eating was, because I just felt like she didn't get me. And I was like, okay, well, that was the first session. Maybe it's like introductory, like get to know your therapist type of thing. So I'm like, okay, we're going to keep on going. So I go to the second therapist meeting or whatever. And it was like the same thing. And I got to a point where I'm like, I honestly felt like I was wasting my time. And I'm not saying there's anything bad with therapy, you guys. I just want to make that very clear. I'm sharing my personal experience right now, okay? And I honestly felt like I was just wasting my time. And I think I did like 4 sessions. And I'm like, I know I need support. Like, I know that I am not okay. I am not saying that I'm better than this therapist or like I know more than this therapist. Like, absolutely not. But I was like, this isn't the right support for me. Because I just felt like I was explaining to her what binge eating was. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I'm leaving these sessions feeling more broken and more confused and more hopeless. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's going on here? What's going on? So anyways, I was like, okay, well, I'm still not giving up. I'm still going to find support because what I'm doing with food is not normal. And I remember on social media, I was like scrolling and I used to follow this one person who actually did fitness competitions, and I did fitness competitions, so we resonated with that. And she was very much into health and fitness, and I was very much into health and fitness. And she was like talking about like rewiring your brain, and she was talking about like, you can't think your way out of a binge. Like, you can try to tell yourself so many times, like, don't binge, don't binge, don't binge. But like, that's not going to help you stop binge eating. And she would share all these things of like, you know, you can't just distract yourself. Like, you can't just think your way out of a binge. Like, you actually have to learn how to get rid of this binge urge. And I was like, oh my gosh, everything that she's saying makes so much freaking sense. Like, what she was saying, she's like, you know, you feel like this pull to just like eat past fullness. You know that you're full and you just keep on eating. And like whatever she would say, and I'm like, this is making so much freaking sense. And for the first time in my entire life, I felt not broken. I felt like I like saw a little glimpse of hope. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like somebody else has gone through this. Okay, Lorna, you're not broken. You're not crazy. Like, there's other people who go through this. Like, thank the freaking Lord, because I honestly thought I was just crazy. And so I remember reaching out to her, and this is what actually happened, you guys. This is what happened. I remember messaging her, and I'm like, I sent her like a paragraph, and I'm like, I'm struggling, like I need support. And I'm like, I know you probably like hear this a million times, but I'm like, I know all the things of what to do. Like, I'm a personal trainer, I'm a health coach, I eat healthy, but like I just can't control myself around food. And she responded back, and then I ghosted her. I ghosted her, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm sure I can figure this out on my own, because I started having like days where like I didn't binge. So I'm like, oh, I probably don't even need support. Like, I can probably figure this out on my own. And then like a week or 2 goes by and I start binging again, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, I not only want to stop my binge eating, but I also want to be kinder to myself. I want to have more self-love towards myself. I want to end this for good. Like, I just want nothing more than a good relationship with food. So I remember hiring her and, you know, joining a group coaching program, hiring her as my coach. And the moment that I got plugged into a community, the moment that I got plugged into support was literally the moment that everything changed for me. And I don't mean to be dramatic, but you guys, when I say, when you are surrounded by people who actually get you, who are like nodding their head up and down of like, yes, I get that. Yes, I've been through that. Yes, I totally know what you're saying. You feel so much reassurance. Like, I just felt like my shoulders were like up to my ears when I was trying to struggle with this by myself. And then it's like, I felt like I could finally just like relax for a moment and just have this reassurance that I wasn't broken. And support and community will change everything for you, because it's one thing, you guys, it's one thing to have tools. It's one thing to know what to do to stop your binge eating. Like, that's obviously really important. But implementing the tools, we all know is the hardest part. Like even for me, I struggle with implementing sometimes. Like when I was on my healing journey, right? Like I would watch the videos, I would show up to the coaching calls, but I found myself like still having a hard time like implementing what I was learning because there's fear, because there's limiting beliefs, because there's, oh, what if this is not going to work for me? Like we have all these like fears, right? And these limiting beliefs. So because I actually had a community and I had other people going through this myself, like it was so much easier for me to keep going. When I tried stopping on my own, not only did I not know what to do, but I kept reverting back to my FitnessPal. I literally re-downloaded my FitnessPal like so many times. But when I was plugged into this community and I had other people who were literally going through the same process with me, like you got this, like I know it's scary to introduce these trigger foods, but like we got this, like I felt empowered. I didn't feel alone. I stopped feeling broken. For the first time in my entire life, I felt seen, I felt understood, and I did not feel broken. Everybody deserves this feeling. And it doesn't matter if you've gone to therapy. It doesn't matter if you saw a nutritionist and you didn't feel understood, because there is somebody out there who has gone through exactly what you're experiencing right now and who can reassure you that what it is that you're going through is common. Although it's not normal, it's very common. And that's what I felt for the first time. And it's really easy, you guys, to hide and shy away when you're struggling. When you binge, you don't want to see anyone. When you're uncomfortable in your own skin, you don't want to see anyone. You don't want to go to that social event. Binge eating thrives in isolation. It thrives in isolation. Every single time that I would binge, what would I do? I'd put on baggy clothes and I would just be in my bed and literally just cry. Like, why did I do that? Why did I do this? I wouldn't go to the social event, so then that would make me feel worse about myself, because here I am sitting at home feeling so disgusting, and like all my friends were like laughing and going out with all their friends, and I'm like, I was isolating myself, right? So this is the power, and this is why support and community is so important, because in those moments where you're not feeling good in your own skin, you need the most amount of support. In those moments where you've just binged, that's when you need the most amount of support. That's when you need the most amount of reassurance. That's when you need the most amount of encouragement. But if you don't have that, it's really easy to feel defeated. It's really easy to feel like there's not a way out. Like when I didn't have support, I just assumed binge eating was going to be part of my life. Like, I'm like, I don't know, like maybe this is just like wired into me. Like maybe I'm always going to struggle with binge eating. Like I didn't even want to like tell anyone about it, because I'm like, I don't know, this is just going to be part of me for the rest of my life. Like I didn't know that there was a way out. I didn't know that there was other people that struggled with this until I got support from somebody who has lived experience. So not only is support and community very, very important, but the right type of support. Because I tried going to therapy, but I didn't feel understood. I went to my doctor and he's like, oh, you're just stressed. You're just stressed and like everybody overeats. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like I am blacking out. I am in autopilot mode. Like I am going through this out of body experience. Like I don't think you understand, right? So the right type of support is important. And this is why I will forever preach getting support from somebody who has gone through binge eating themselves and has conquered binge eating themselves. And I'm not just saying that because that's my story, but like I literally got support from somebody who has conquered binge eating themselves, and it made the world of a difference for me. It made the world of a difference for me. And, my clients tell me all the time, they're like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, you just get it. And I'm like, well, yeah, like I have lived experience. And like I said, anybody, any professional can give you tools. Do this, do this, do this. And it's one thing to get tools, but it's another thing to have somebody who has lived experience that can actually fully understand how you are feeling right in that moment. Like that's different. That's different, right? Like anyone can tell you like what to do when you're feeling guilty, but it's something else when somebody has gone through feeling guilty and it's like, oh yeah, I know that I don't want to see anyone. Like, I know I just want to beat myself up. Like, I know and I get it. So support and community will change your life, you guys. Like, it literally will change your life because you will, maybe for the first time, feel understood. Maybe for the first time, you will have reassurance that you're not alone. Maybe for the first time, you'll actually celebrate yourself. Do you celebrate yourself? You know, something that I never did ever before was like celebrate myself. And I remember when I joined this program and every single coaching call, my coach was like, okay, what's a win? And I'm like, it literally forced me to celebrate myself. And not only celebrate myself, but it allowed other people to celebrate me. And that also made a huge difference because the more that you celebrate yourself, the more that you want to be celebrated. Like the more that you experience these wins because it feels so good. And now what I do with all my clients inside of the Ditch Decade Diets Academy, it's like every single call, I'm like, okay, what's a win? What's a win? What's a win? And it really just helps them see how far that they've come. And this is another thing as well too, you guys, like there are probably so many wins that you're experiencing right now, but you're not giving yourself credit for. How easy is it to have, you didn't binge today, right? Like you didn't binge, and that's like a big freaking deal. Like you should be jumping up and down, like having a party for yourself. Like that's a big freaking deal. But then it's like, yeah, but I'm just gonna binge tomorrow, so like I'm not even gonna bother celebrating it. Yeah, well, I mean, like whatever, I'm going to like this social event on Saturday and there's gonna be so much food there, so I'm probably gonna binge anyways. Like, how often do you do this? You are blocking yourself from these celebrations, from these wins. And I tell my clients all the time, like, just because you've had one binge, that doesn't take away from the fact that you didn't binge yesterday. Just because you're having a bad body image today doesn't take away from the fact that literally all week last week you were feeling so confident and so comfortable in your own skin. Like, it doesn't derail your progress. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't detract from like the progress that you're making. Like, it doesn't, the win that you experience doesn't just go away. It's still there. That still happened, right? But so often it's like, well, I'm not even going to bother celebrating myself because I'm literally just going to binge tomorrow. So having constant reminders of like, you're on the right path, you're doing the right things, having people encourage you, having people celebrate you is huge. Not only when things are going well, because you're going to receive that. When you join a community, especially like my academy, like you're going to be loved on. You're going to have so much encouragement and like, you're going to feel literally like unstoppable and you're going to be in so much momentum, but also when things aren't going the best, because this journey is not just like, like this journey of healing your relationship with food is like up and down, up and down, up and down. Like just like anything, like there's good days, there's maybe not so good days. So having support when you're feeling down is what's going to lift you up. And that's what's going to be the difference maker. And you not getting in the all or nothing mentality, you not feeling hopeless, but rather feeling encouraged, feeling inspired, feeling full of hope that there is a way up, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And this is why, you know, the clients that I work with at such a close level, especially in the academy, like they are constantly telling me like, I feel so much momentum. Like I feel so encouraged after that call, and they're making progress like week after week because of this support. And I'm not saying that things are perfect. I'm not saying that like, you know, you're never going to have a binge, but it's like, this is the difference versus somebody who doesn't have support, versus somebody who doesn't have a community. We all need to be celebrated. We all need encouragement. We all need to be reminded of how well we're actually doing. Because like I said, you're probably doing so much better than you're actually giving yourself credit for. Like, you probably are doing some really incredible things. Maybe you didn't even realize. You're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize, like, yesterday I had a chocolate bar and I actually didn't feel guilty. But like, if you don't have somebody asking you what your win is, or you don't ask yourself what's going well this week, like, how are things going this week? Like, you might be slipping these wins like down the drain, and you're like, oh, well, there's not even a point of celebrating that because I just binged today. But there could be so many more wins that you're experiencing and so much more progress that you're actually making, but maybe you're not celebrating yourself. So this is the power of support. This is the power of community. This is the power of getting support from somebody who has gone through binge eating, and also people who are on the journey with you guys. It's one thing to get support from me. Like, that's obviously incredible, right? Like, somebody who's lived experience. But it's a whole other level of value when you literally have people who are in the midst of their journey, who is in their journey right now with you. Like, I've been through it, so I remember what it's like. But then when you have somebody else who is going through it, like, at the exact same time as you, and you guys are like utilizing the tools together and cheering each other on and like reminding each other to trust the process, priceless. I actually had 2 of my academy clients, you guys, meet up in person, and they actually went for a walk together, and they hung out together, and it literally made me so emotional because, like, you cultivate such strong friendships in this. Like, we become so tight. It's like this beautiful sisterhood, this beautiful community. So it's just really amazing. What service are you offering? Hi, Margie. How much? How do you join? So I do have a few different options. So I will message you after this. I'm just gonna screenshot this so I know. I'll message you right after, and then we can chat about some of the different things. The program that I'm talking about right now is my 4-month Ditch Decade Diets Academy. So this is 4 months of group coaching. And this is where you get access to course-based video modules that teaches you literally everything you need to know about how to have a better relationship with food, how to eat without guilt, how to stop the emotional binge eating, overeating. And there's group coaching calls that I do every single week. So this is where you can actually come on, ask your personalized questions, and not only get support from myself, but you can also get access to a community of people who will really help you feel less alone. We have a daily group chat as well too, so you can ask your questions, you can share your wins, and again, just feel less alone in this. And then we do breathwork sessions every single month, which, you guys, is such a game changer. Breathwork is one of the most powerful ways to help you become less impulsive with food, help you to cope with your emotions without turning to food, and reduce the stress and anxiety. So we do that every single month as well, like as a deepening, healing process every single month. So this is the academy that I'm talking about. This is one of my highest levels of ways to get support from me. It's personalized coaching. So if you are looking for like high level personalized coaching with me, this is definitely the program for you. There are 2 options. The first option is the group. So that's group coaching. That's everything that I just talked about. The second option is my VIP. So in addition to the group coaching calls, you would also get a one-on-one call with me every month, a one-on-one breathwork session with me every month. And then the best part, you guys, is you literally get to voice message me and text me personally Monday to Friday for more customized support. So that's obviously for somebody that really likes that accountability, likes more like one-on-one coaching. You still get access to the group calls because, like I said, community is literally everything. But you want a little bit more one-on-one time with me. That's personally what I did. Like, when I joined a program for binge eating support, there was 2 options. There was the group, and then there was the VIP to also get one-on-one. For me, like, the way that I saw it, I'm like, if I'm going to do this, like, I'm going to go all in, but that's just my mindset. Not everybody chooses VIP, but those are the different options. So I'll message you after, and we can chat about that and see if it's going to be a good fit. But yeah, so if you are craving community, if you are craving support, you guys, like, my 4-month academy is really where it's at. highest level of support that you can get. I also do have a 21-day food freedom challenge. So let's say you're like, okay, like this makes sense. I know I'm ready for support. I know that accountability and support can really help me get to the next level and really help me like continue to trust the process and heal my relationship with food. And maybe things that you've tried in the past, like the missing link was support and accountability. So you're like, okay, I know I need support from a professional. I know I need support from a coach. But maybe you're not ready for a full 4 months. My 21 days would be really good because this is a great way to dip your toes in, so to speak, and just have something to get started with. So my 21-day food freedom challenge is the same thing. It's essentially 3 weeks inside of my academy. You still get personalized coaching. But like I said, maybe you want to like just dip your toes in, so to speak. Some people start with the 21-day first, and then they jump into my 4-month academy. But then some people are like, Lorna, I don't want to do no 21-day thing. Like, I know I'm ready for like all the support. Like, I know this is going to take some time. So like, I just want to join your 4 months. So those are the 2 different options. If you are wanting like high level support from me, personalized coaching in a small group, and to be surrounded by, an incredible community. I'm so proud of the community that I've built and like the people that are in my academy. Like, we have the most incredible people. And like I said, two of my clients got together. They don't even live close. They like drove, they met up, and they like went for a walk together, and it just makes me so incredibly happy. So much support is available for you guys. If you are interested in any of these options, please DM me Academy. If you're interested in my 4-month academy, you can DM me Freedom if you want more information on my 21 days. So there's a few different options, but please get the support that you guys need. Like, you are so deserving. You are so worthy of this, and there is support available for you. Like, I just want you to know that, because when I was struggling, I didn't even think that there was support available, but there is. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you have any questions, please DM me. If you want to chat more about those different options, you can DM me as well too. So I love you guys. You freaking got this. You are not broken. You are not crazy. There absolutely is a way out. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you soon. Bye, guys.